Hey, all you depth divers out there, get ready because today we are taking a deep dive into the revolutionary RTC 5090 graphics card. We've got a mountain of sources for this one. Everything from technical specs and the development history to performance benchmarks, and even some speculation on where GPUs are headed in the future. But this deep dive isn't just for the hardcore gamers out there. Oh no. We'll be unpacking how the RTC 5090 is shaking up fields like 3D modeling and animation, VR of course. Even things like automotive design and medical imaging. I'm talking over 10,000 processing cores. 24 gigabytes of GDDR7 memory, which is insanely fast, by the way. And it's all built on a tiny 5-nanometer chip. To help us break down exactly what makes this card such a game changer, we've got an expert standing by. So are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's explore the RTC 5090's journey. It's a journey really driven by a desire not just to meet the demands we have right now, but to anticipate the future, to be ready for what comes next in visual computing.
Yeah, the sources even mention a cultural shift that's happening. It's not just about raw power anymore, it's about artistry and computational excellence coming together. What does that shift mean for someone like you?
Well, it's really fascinating to see how the RTC 5090 is bridging that gap between the technical community and the creative world. It's really a point where art and technology converge, opening up new possibilities for expression and for innovation.
I love that. Okay, so let's unpack those 10,000 plus processing cores for a second. I'm honestly still wrapping my head around a number that big. What does that actually mean in terms of processing power?
Okay, well, think of it this way. Imagine 10,000 tiny chefs all working together to prepare like a crazy complex dish. Each core is like its own mini processor, all of them working at the same time to handle massive amounts of data. This makes real-time ray tracing possible, something that was just impossible before for consumer-level graphics cards. And with this, you'll experience visuals that are so realistic they almost feel tangible. It's all about rendering light and shadows with incredible accuracy, making those digital environments look and feel incredibly lifelike.
So it's all about speed and collaboration.
Exactly. And then you have the GDDR7 memory. Think of that as like a super fast highway for data, giving those 10,000 chefs instant access to all the ingredients they need. No traffic jams, just pure speed. This translates to smoother gameplay, faster rendering, and a really seamless visual experience overall.
Okay, I'm with you. Now, what about the 5-nanometer fabrication? That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty mind-boggling, isn't it? They've basically crammed a supercomputer onto a chip the size of your fingernail, packing billions of transistors into such a small space. They've achieved an incredible level of efficiency. It's kind of like shrinking a city down to the size of a village, but somehow keeping all of its functions intact.
That's wild. But all this power must generate some serious heat. How on earth do they keep this thing from melting?
Well, they've implemented a liquid cooling system along with some intelligent thermal sensors. You can think of it kind of like a high-tech radiator for your graphics card. It's all designed to anticipate any changes in heat and adjust accordingly, making sure you get that optimal performance, but without the sound of a jet engine taking off every time you use it.
So you're telling me I won't need to wear my noise-canceling headphones just to use my computer. That is definitely a win in my book.
Exactly. And, we've been talking a lot about the impact on gaming, but the RTC 5090 really goes far beyond just that. This card is truly revolutionizing professional fields that rely heavily on visual computing, fields like 3D modeling and animation, for example.
Right. You mentioned that earlier. How exactly is the RTC 5090 changing the game for those industries?
With this card, artists can work with incredibly complex models and textures in real time. Just imagine sculpting a detailed character or designing a sprawling cityscape and seeing every single change, every brushstroke, rendered instantly.
So no more waiting hours or even days for those renders to finish. That's got to be a dream come true for any artist.
Absolutely. It really streamlines the creative process.
Yeah.
It allows for so much more experimentation and iteration. And it's not just about speed. It's about enabling these artists to create truly breathtaking visuals with a level of detail and realism we've just never seen before.
That's incredible. What about VR development? How does the RTC 5090 impact that space?
VR requires a ton of processing power to create truly immersive experiences. That feeling of stepping into a virtual world and feeling like you're actually there. Well, the RTC 5090 is allowing developers to push those boundaries further than ever before. Imagine being able to explore ancient ruins, pilot a spaceship, or even perform surgery, all from your living room.
Okay, now this is starting to sound less like a graphics card and more like a portal to another dimension.
It's a powerful tool for sure. And the applications really do go beyond just entertainment and creative fields. The RTC 5090 is being used in industries like automotive design as well.
Wait, really? How is a graphics card being used to design cars?
Well, car manufacturers use really sophisticated software to design and test their vehicles. And those simulations they run require an immense amount of processing power. With the RTC 5090, they can actually run those simulations in real time, allowing them to experiment with different designs and configurations much faster. So it really does have a huge impact on safety and efficiency, ultimately leading to more innovative vehicles.
So it's not just about making those cars look cool, it's about making them better, safer, and faster to design. That's pretty impressive.
Exactly. And speaking of pushing boundaries, the RTC 5090 is even making waves in medical imaging. Imagine doctors being able to create incredibly detailed 3D models from things like CT scans and MRIs.
No, that's something I definitely wouldn't have expected. Tell me more.
It's amazing. They can essentially fly through a patient's anatomy,
Yeah.
identifying any potential problems and planning the most effective treatments. It's basically like having X-ray vision on steroids. This level of detail and accuracy is leading to earlier diagnoses and less invasive procedures, which has huge implications for patient outcomes and recovery time.
Wow, that's incredible. So we've established that the RTC 5090 is a technological marvel with applications across such a wide range of fields. But let's get down to brass tacks for a second. Does it actually live up to the hype? What do the benchmarks say?
The benchmarks are pretty clear. The RTC 5090 is absolutely a dominant force in the GPU market. In synthetic tests, it consistently outperforms the competition, often by a significant margin. We're talking double, sometimes even triple the frame rates in demanding scenes.
Okay, but what does that actually translate to in terms of user experience? Can you give us some specifics?
Absolutely. Imagine playing the latest AAA game with every setting cranked up to the max, and it's still running butter smooth at 120 frames per second or higher. That's the kind of experience the RTC 5090 delivers. And it's not just about high frame rates either. The visual fidelity is astonishing. The way light interacts with objects, the detail in the textures, the realism of the shadows. It's like looking through a window into another world.
Okay, I'm sold. But all this power must come with a pretty hefty price tag. Let's be honest. Is it as expensive as it sounds?
It is an investment, but it's one that really pays dividends. For those who demand the absolute best, the RTC 5090 is worth every penny, especially when you consider things like the advanced cooling system and the robust power regulation. This isn't a card that's going to become obsolete in a year or two. It's a workhorse built to last.
So it's not just a purchase, it's a long-term commitment to top-tier performance.
Exactly. The RTC 5090 is truly built to handle anything you throw at it, both now and in the future.
Speaking of the future, we can't talk about the RTC 5090 without considering what it means for the future of graphics cards. It's clearly a major leap forward. But where do we go from here? What does the next generation hold?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We're seeing a lot of really exciting advancements, particularly in the realm of AI and machine learning.
AI and graphics cards. That sounds pretty futuristic. Can you break that down for us a little? What does that actually look like?
Sure. So the RTC 5090 actually already has dedicated AI cores that handle tasks like real-time image upscaling and anti-aliasing.
Yeah.
But in the future, those AI capabilities are going to become even more sophisticated. Just imagine a GPU that can predict what the next frame of animation is going to look like and render it ahead of time. That would lead to even smoother motion and even higher frame rates. Or a GPU that can adjust the level of detail based on what you're focusing on, optimizing both performance and visual fidelity.
So it's not just about brute force anymore. It's about working smarter, not harder. I like that.
Exactly. And, speaking of pushing those computational boundaries, we may even see quantum-inspired architectures in future GPUs.
Hold on. Quantum computing. That sounds like something straight out of Star Trek. Is that even remotely feasible?
It is still early days for that technology. But the potential is absolutely immense. Quantum computing could be used to accelerate the kinds of calculations that are essential for graphics processing, which could lead to unimaginable leaps in performance. Think about being able to render complex scenes with real-time ray tracing at resolutions that we can only dream of today. That's the kind of power quantum computing could unlock.
Okay, my mind is officially blown, but let's reel it back in for just a second. What about more immediate advancements? What can we realistically expect to see in the next few years? Something a little less sci-fi.
One area that's really ripe for innovation is the convergence of graphics processing and neural networks. This could lead to GPUs specifically designed for machine learning tasks. Things like image recognition, natural language processing, even robotics. Imagine a GPU that can not only render a photorealistic image, but also instantly understand what it's looking at.
So it's not just about creating visuals anymore. It's about understanding them, too. It's almost like giving the graphics card a brain.
Precisely. And this kind of convergence will have implications far beyond just entertainment and gaming. It'll revolutionize fields like medicine, autonomous driving, and even scientific research.
Okay, I'm officially living in the future now. But before we get too carried away with all of these mind-bending predictions, let's circle back to the RTC 5090 for a minute. You mentioned earlier that it has some pretty innovative design features. Can you break those down for us?
Of course. One of the most impressive aspects of the RTC 5090 is its adaptive cooling technology. The system constantly monitors the temperature of the card and adjusts the fan speeds and coolant flow to ensure optimal performance while keeping noise levels to an absolute minimum. It's like having a whisper-quiet supercar under your desk.
So it's not just about raw power, it's about finesse too.
Yeah.
A powerful graphics card that can also be stealthy, that's awesome.
Exactly. They've also implemented a modular design, which makes the RTC 5090 incredibly future-proof. So certain components, like the memory modules, can be easily swapped out or upgraded as technology advances. You don't have to replace the entire card when something newer comes out.
So you're not locked into a specific configuration. That's huge. It's like having a computer that can grow and evolve with technology.
Precisely. And speaking of connectivity, the RTC 5090 comes loaded with next-generation ports and interfaces, ensuring lightning-fast data transfer speeds.
Give us the specifics. What kind of ports are we talking about here?
You name it, it's got it. Multiple HDMI 2.1 ports for connecting to high-resolution displays. DisplayPort 2.0 for even faster data transfer rates. And of course, it's fully compatible with all the latest VR headsets. The possibilities are endless.
So you can basically hook up your entire entertainment system to this thing. It's like the ultimate multimedia hub.
Pretty much. And those data transfer speeds are insane. You can transfer massive files in the blink of an eye. No more waiting around for videos to render or games to install.
Okay. We've covered cooling, that modularity, and connectivity. What else is there?
We can't forget about the brains behind all the brawn. The RTC 5090's dedicated AI processing unit.
Wait, a graphics card with its own AI? That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Tell me more.
It's the future, my friend, and it's here now. This dedicated AI unit enables some really remarkable features, like real-time image upscaling. The AI can actually analyze an image and intelligently add detail, resulting in sharper, more visually appealing visuals.
So what you're saying is I could take my old pixelated photos and make them look brand new. That's impressive.
It's not quite magic, but it's pretty close. The AI can also handle complex tasks like anti-aliasing, which smooths out those jagged edges in images and videos, making everything look super crisp and clean. But it actually goes beyond just enhancing the visuals. It also plays a really crucial role in optimizing performance.
So how does it do that? What's the secret formula?
It can analyze the workload of the card and dynamically adjust the power consumption and processing power allocation to ensure maximum efficiency. It's like having a personal assistant for your graphics card, making sure everything is running smoothly and efficiently. And the best part, this AI is constantly learning and improving. As it processes more data, it becomes even better at optimizing performance and enhancing those visuals.
So the RTC 5090 is basically a self-learning supercomputer disguised as a graphics card. My mind is officially blown again.
It's an impressive piece of technology, that's for sure. But the innovation doesn't stop there. The RTC 5090 also comes with a whole suite of software tools that give you an unprecedented level of control over its features and performance.
Okay. Tell me more about this software. What kind of control are we talking about here?
Imagine having a dashboard for your graphics card where you can monitor absolutely everything in real time. Temperature, fan speeds, power consumption, clock speeds, you name it.
So you can see exactly what's going on under the hood. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And it's not just about monitoring. You can actually customize a wide range of settings as well. So you can create custom fan curves to fine-tune the cooling system, adjust power limits to optimize for performance, and you can even overclock the card for that extra boost.
Overclocking, isn't that a little risky? I've always heard it can be dangerous for your hardware.
It can be, if you don't know what you're doing. But the RTC 5090 software makes it incredibly safe and easy. It has built-in safeguards to prevent any damage, and it provides really detailed guidance for those who want to push their hardware to the absolute limit.
So it's like having a pit crew for your graphics card.
That's a great analogy. The software also includes tools for capturing screenshots and videos, streaming gameplay, and even creating custom lighting effects for the card itself.
Wait, you can customize the lighting. That's pretty neat.
It is. You can sync the lighting with your games or music,
Yeah.
Or you can create your own custom patterns. It's just a fun way to personalize your setup.
Okay. I'm convinced. The RTC 5090 isn't just a graphics card. It's a complete visual computing ecosystem.
That's a great way to put it. It's a masterpiece of hardware and software that really empowers you to create, experience, and explore the world of visuals like never before.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. From those mind-blowing specs to groundbreaking applications and innovative design features.
It has been quite a journey so far, exploring the incredible capabilities of the RTC 5090.
But we're not done yet. In part 2, we'll dive even deeper into those specific design innovations that make this card such a game changer.
Get ready to explore the intricacies of adaptive cooling, modularity, and the power of a dedicated AI processing unit.
Until then, deep divers, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Welcome back, deep divers. Ready for part 2 of our exploration of the RTC 5090?
Absolutely. Let's jump right back in.
In part 1, we talked about the RTC 5090's crazy specs and its wide-ranging impact. Now, I really want to take a closer look at those design innovations. You know, the ones that make this card so special.
Sure.
One thing that really stood out to me was that adaptive cooling technology. It sounds seriously high-tech. Can you break it down for us a little more?
Yeah, it really is cutting-edge stuff. Think of it like this. A cooling system that's as smart as the GPU itself. The RTC 5090's cooling doesn't just react to changes in temperature, it anticipates them. It uses sensors all over the card to constantly monitor the workload and the heat output, and then it dynamically adjusts the fan speeds and the coolant flow to make sure those temperatures stay optimal.
So it's kind of like a climate control system for your graphics card.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing this means you get peak performance without all that annoying fan noise. Exactly. And because it keeps the temperature so stable, it actually reduces the wear and tear on the components, which means the card lasts even longer.
Okay, so this adaptive cooling is good for performance and longevity. I'm liking it more and more. Now, what about this modularity thing I keep hearing about? What does that even mean for a graphics card?
Think of it like Legos. Certain components,
Yeah.
like the memory modules, for example, can be easily swapped out or upgraded as technology advances. That way you don't have to replace the whole entire card down the line.
That's really smart. So it's super future-proof. You're not stuck with that initial configuration you bought years ago. So what other cool design features did they manage to pack into this thing?
Well, can't forget about connectivity. The RTC 5090 is loaded with all the latest ports and interfaces. You know, for those lightning-fast data transfer speeds, we're talking multiple HDMI 2.1 ports, DisplayPort 2.0 for even faster rates, and of course it's compatible with all the latest VR headsets.
So you can basically hook up all your devices and not even break a sweat. No more bottlenecks or lag.
Nope. Those data transfer speeds are insanely fast. Imagine transferring massive files, like instantly. No more waiting around for videos to render or games to install.
Now that's a time saver I can definitely get behind. Okay, so we've talked about the cooling, the modularity, and the connectivity. Is there anything else we're missing?
Ah, yes. The brains behind all that brawn. The dedicated AI processing unit.
Hold on a second. Did you say a graphics card with its own AI? This is sounding more and more like science fiction every minute. What exactly does this AI do?
Well, for starters, it enables some really amazing features like real-time image upscaling. So basically, the AI analyzes images as they come in and intelligently adds detail to them, making them look way sharper and more visually appealing.
So what you're saying is I could take like my old pixelated photos and make them look brand new. It's like a digital makeover?
Yeah, pretty much. It can also handle things like anti-aliasing, smoothing out all those jagged edges in games and videos, making everything look crisp and clean. But it's not just about the visuals. This AI actually plays a key role in optimizing performance, too.
Okay, I'm listening. How does it do that?
Well, it constantly analyzes the card's workload and adjusts things like power consumption and processing power allocation, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly and efficiently. It's like a personal assistant for your graphics card, always working behind the scenes to make sure everything's running as it should.
So it's not just a powerful graphics card, it's actually a smart self-optimizing system that learns and adapts on the fly. Wow.
That's right. And it gets even better. You get a whole suite of software tools with this card. They give you really granular control over all the features and performance.
Okay. Tell me more about the software.
So imagine this, a dashboard where you can monitor everything happening on your card. Temperature, fan speed, power consumption, clock speeds, you name it.
So you can basically peek under the hood and see exactly how things are running. That's pretty awesome.
Exactly. And you can do more than just monitor. You can actually customize a whole bunch of settings too. You can create your own custom fan curves to fine-tune that cooling system, adjust power limits to optimize for performance, and you can even overclock the card if you want an extra boost.
Now hold on a second. Overclocking, isn't that kind of risky? You know, pushing the card too hard.
It can be, if you don't know what you're doing. But the software for the RTC 5090 makes it super safe and easy. It has these built-in safeguards that prevent any damage, and it gives you really detailed guidance if you do want to try and push your hardware to the limit.
So it's like having a pit crew for your graphics card.
Exactly.
Right.
And on top of all that, you get tools for capturing screenshots and videos, streaming your gameplay, and even creating your own custom lighting effects.
Hold on, custom lighting effects? You mean like for the card itself?
Yep. You can sync the lighting with your games or your music, or create your own custom patterns. It's a fun way to personalize your setup.
Okay. I'm starting to see why everyone is so excited about this card. The RTC 5090 really is more than just a graphics card. It's like a whole visual ecosystem, from the hardware to the software and everything in between.
That's a great way to put it. It really empowers you to create and experience visuals like never before.
So we've talked about the adaptive cooling, the modular design, the insane connectivity, the AI processing, and the super powerful software. This is all seriously mind-blowing stuff. But I have to ask, where do we even go from here? I mean, the RTC 5090 is already so advanced. What could possibly top this?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And it's a perfect lead into our final part.
Okay.
So buckle up, because in part 3, we're going to be taking a look at the future of graphics cards. We'll explore the potential of some really emerging technologies, things like quantum computing and neural networks. Think mind-blowing advancements that could revolutionize everything, from gaming to scientific research.
You're saying things are about to get even more futuristic.
You better believe it. Stay tuned, deep divers.
All right, deep divers, are you ready to jump into the future?
Let's do it.
We've spent the last 2 parts exploring the amazing RTC 5090, its mind-blowing specs, its innovative design, and now in this final part, we're going to take a look at what's next for graphics technology. We're talking quantum computing neural networks, the really futuristic stuff.
It's going to be an exciting ride.
It is. So let's start with quantum computing. I have to admit, it still sounds a little bit like science fiction to me. Can you give us like the layman's explanation? How could quantum computing impact the world of GPUs?
Imagine a GPU that can perform calculations millions of times faster than anything we have today.
Okay, that's fast, but what does it actually mean for, the average person using a computer?
Think about stepping into a virtual world that's so immersive, so realistic, that you can't even tell the difference between that and the real world.
That's kind of hard to wrap my head around.
Imagine exploring distant planets, experiencing historical events firsthand, even connecting with loved ones in a virtual space that feels totally real.
That is seriously mind-blowing. But it's not just about gaming and entertainment, is it? What about applications beyond that?
Absolutely. Quantum-powered GPUs could change the game in feels like scientific research. Imagine simulating those complex molecular interactions in real time, leading to all sorts of breakthroughs in medicine and material science.
So quantum computing could really unlock some major advancements in all kinds of fields. That's really exciting. Now let's shift gears for a second and talk about neural networks. I know we touched on this a bit before, but how do you see neural networks shaping the future of graphics cards?
We're already seeing them being used for things like image upscaling and denoising, making those visuals even sharper and cleaner. But in the future, their role is going to get a lot bigger.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we talking about here?
Imagine a GPU that can not only render a scene, but can actually understand it. It can identify objects, interpret emotions, maybe even predict future events within that scene.
So we're talking about a GPU with genuine artificial intelligence.
We are. And that opens up some really wild possibilities. Interactive storytelling, personalized gaming experiences, even virtual assistants that understand and respond to your visual cues.
So the line between graphics processing and AI is getting blurrier and blurrier all the time.
Exactly. The future of graphics cards is totally intertwined with the advancements in AI.
I've got to be honest, it's a little hard to wrap my head around all this. But can you give us like a concrete example of how these technologies, quantum computing and neural networks, how they might actually converge in a future GPU?
Imagine playing a video game where the environment reacts to your emotions in real time.
Wait, really?
So the neural network in the GPU analyzes your facial expressions, your voice, maybe even your biometrics, and it adjusts the lighting, the music, maybe even the actions of the characters to create a totally unique and personalized experience.
So in a way, the game's kind of reading your mind and adapting to how you're feeling.
You got it. And that's just one example. The potential applications of this technology are huge, and we're just scratching the surface. We're right on the edge of a new era in visual computing, one where the lines between reality and the virtual world are going to become more and more blurred.
That's super exciting and maybe a tiny bit terrifying, but it's definitely a future I'm ready to be a part of.
Well, with all this talk about the future, I think it's important to remember where we started. With the RTC 5090, it's an amazing accomplishment all on its own.
It is. The RTC 5090 really is a testament to human ingenuity. It's a glimpse into what's possible when we push those boundaries of technology.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the RTC 5090 and the future of graphics cards, what's the one big takeaway you want to leave our listeners with? The future is full of possibilities, and it's being shaped right now. The things we talked about today. The fusion of graphics processing and AI, the crazy potential of quantum computing. It's all happening at an incredible pace. And it's up to all of us to embrace these advancements and imagine new ways to use technology. To create, to explore, to connect with each other.
I love that. So to all you deep divers out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries.
The future of visual computing is bright, and it's waiting for us to shape it.
Thanks for joining us on this epic deep dive into the world of the RTC 5090 and the future of graphics cards. Until next time, happy rendering.